Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about everything in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am your host, Chase Bunker, alongside the half-Asian sensation, Curtis Coe.
Hello.
The man that only needs one name to describe him, Murph Murphy.
How's it going?
And, new intro for you, the formerly one of the top shamans on our WoW server, Mr. Daniel Clegg.
I like that one as much.
You don't like that? Oh, I give you credit. The man that... Hold on. Daniel Clegg, the man that cures cancer. I don't like that intro.
Well, it's no longer relevant if you don't play.
Well, I'm pretty... Warlords of Drainer's coming out. I'm pretty sure you're coming back to playing.
I never stopped, Chase.
I know you didn't.
Oh, God.
All right. Hopefully, you guys are watching us on YouTube, youtube.com/thatnewsshow, or you can listen to us on our podcast, which right now, it's Podbean, That New Show at Podbean, or .podbean.com. Apparently, I'm drunk already. So,
Okay, we'll get it down.
It's a little early.
It is a little early. There's tequila in this. Gentlemen, did you have a good Halloween?
Mm-hmm. Oh, excellent. We have the tradition of, we dress up our driveway as the inside of the house. So we have some couches, we pull them out, we pull around the grill, we kind of just grill out, sit on the couches, drink a little adult beverages,
Nice.
hand out some candy to the kids, just have a little fun little time.
Did you dress up?
Adult beverages? Is that like spicy water? I've heard of this stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is that after you get off the kiddie table? I mean, I'm still on the kiddie table, so I'm not.
You have to graduate, Curtis.
I do.
Who'd you dress up as, Murph?
I actually have a Doctor Strange cosplay. I guess the video is lost, isn't it?
No, we didn't have that. I think it was before we started recording last time.
Yeah, we talked about Doctor Strange. Yeah.
I also had my That Brannigan.
What?
Well,
You're going robot, Murph.
Oh, I said Zap Brannigan.
Oh,
Zap
Brannigan.
Oh. Gift
Did you
made it
shave
with
your
a
legs
woman.
for that?
I did not.
You did not. That's even better.
That's even better.
I love Zap Brannigan so much. I remember Curtis and I went to Tampa Bay Comic-Con and we saw like this whole Futurama group.
That was awesome.
And I went one-on-one with this Zap Brannigan, just quote after quote. It was pretty epic. I loved it. Did you do anything, Jet, with your Halloween?
We had trick-or-treaters for the first time ever here, so that was interesting. I didn't do much. I was napping on the couch because I had to drive up to Atlanta the next day. So, pretty much Charlotte took care of the candy. Word to the wise, never hold out the basket to children. Damn,
yeah. No.
Like, the funniest thing, there was one little kid, probably like 3 years old, just was like, handful. So in one go, with 4 children, we had lost 3/4 of our candy.
Oh, wow.
For fools.
So word to the wise, hand the candy out. Don't let them take it out themselves.
Clay, did you do anything special?
Well, we did pumpkin carving. A whole bunch of people over. That was fun. And we went to a Harry Potter-themed Halloween party, which was pretty good.
Yeah, I just went to a church block party, and I like to dress up every year, and of course, like nothing beats my costume last year of Slender Man. What was even better was like I can't see with the Slender Man costume, so you see like this little girl dressed up as Wonder Woman holding Slender Man's hand and just guiding him across the street. And so this year I went as Mr. Fantastic, and it was me and my roommate, and we just took a few of the kids and we just walked around. And
you just took a few of the kids.
We just took a few of the kids.
Stole children?
Yes. Yeah. And like we went all around, and it sucks like being at my age right now because I got a few people. It wasn't a lot, but it was still a few people just to go like, aren't you a little old for trick or treating? And of course, as I pull out my candy, like I got like a full size one. I'm like, oh, I'm coming back here later. Though the sad thing is, I had to work to get this one because this house went all decked out. And when I say decked out, I mean they covered it in spider, like those little like foam spider things. And then the dicks that they are decide to have one pop up out of the bush right when you get near them. So needless to say, I was on edge for the rest of the night.
To the average trick-or-treater, this is a mild annoyance. Might make you smile a little bit. Or giggle, perhaps. Not so for Chase.
No, I hate spiders with a burning passion, which I discovered the new Skittles commercial. It sucks. Horribly. Another funny story is, like, we took the pastor's son, like there was this dummy that looked like there's a person in it. I thought there was a person in it. And so he, like, approaches, like, this candy, like, and, like, this dummy was, like, staying here, just, like, in this little position like this. Shut up, dog! And all of a sudden, my roommate just, like, grabs him and starts screaming. And so the kid literally throws, like, he was a Ninja Turtle, so he threw his size and just goes, bam, to the ground. Mind you, this isn't like a 5 or 6-year-old. This is like a 13-year-old throwing size, bam, on the ground. Frightened. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to get you guys. I'm not going to get scared anymore. Next house. Old woman. Dark. Like, she's just sitting out like her front porch. It's all dark. All of a sudden, like, here you go, take some candy. Kid goes to grab the candy. Guy right behind her, skeleton mask. Hey, get some candy! Freaks him out. Drops the candy, runs. I pissed myself laughing. It was great. And I went as Mr. Fantastic. It was a very ghetto Mr. Fantastic. But that's okay.
That's all right.
Was it tight spandex?
Oh, yeah. I was feeling the breeze, too.
That's it. It was cold, man.
Oh, I felt great. So, alright, let me get my cigar. Alright, let's get this started. Jeff found a good article yesterday from IGN. It turns out Nintendo's president is considering breaking away from the region locks, which means Japanese games can be played on North American consoles. Unless I am wrong and I've grossly misread that article. Am I right?
No, that's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Good. Gentlemen, could we possibly see a trend now? Correct to you.
Welcome to the 21st century, Nintendo.
Well, you have to remember that both PlayStation and Xbox both still have region locks on them as well. So
I think the new consoles don't now, right?
I believe all the current consoles have region locks still.
No, that was something that Xbox One initially announced at E3, but then one of the many things they backed off of. I think PS4 also was not region. I need to look that up, though.
I'm not quite sure. But
I will look it up. I am connected to a vast web of information.
Well, I think one of the things to note is that the Wii, near the end of its cycle, had some really solid games that came out in Europe and were even in English, but people in the North America just couldn't play. It was like Xenogears, I think.
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, or I don't remember.
Oh, it was Xenoblade Chronicles, I think.
Yeah, and there was
which I heard is amazing.
That two really, really solid games that could have kind of turned around, in my opinion, some of the Wii hate, where it just didn't have games for a while. And I think it just benefits them to do stuff like that.
And especially
they need to do pretty much anything they can to increase sales, right? And that seems like it's a risk for sure, because then people can just trade games or resell it to each other instead of purchasing for them fresh. But anything they can do to make it easier for their customers to play games, right? They got to get people on that install base. Yeah,
and I know like this would be helpful because like one of my favorite developers is Suda51. Like I love Killer 7, I love No More Heroes and Shadows of the Damned, but his first game was Michigan. It's titled Michigan, but it's it's Japan only, and it's about a reporter that he goes to like this haunted house, but he can save people and not get the good footage, or he can let them die but get great footage for his story. And so I thought it was a really unique story. However, can't play it because I'm in America. And so I think if you have something like that, like if you like have games that are like that could be really cool, and especially with Americans that have a really like passionate like fan base for anime, they could get all those Japanese games as well. So
according to the GameFAQs message board, so grain of salt, pile of salt, mountain of salt, PS4 games are region-free. PS3 is also region-free. However, anything DLC is country-locked. And, of course, Blu-rays and DVDs have their own sort of region locking.
Yeah.
Well, DLC, if it's if it's digital only, that seems to not matter so much, because what's the likelihood that you're going to sell a console with a bunch of games on it digitally to someone in another country?
Well, I mean, look at it from the perspective of, let's just say for giggles that like Dragon Age came out on the Wii U.
Mhm.
Okay. And if I'm not sure about this, but I believe it never made it to Japan. Is that correct? Do we know if that some of those games, especially Western games, make it over there?
They're just not as popular. I don't know exactly
Okay.
what they do.
But that also goes both ways, where we could have it go one way and the other. But some of the DLC for those games are actually kind of decently important for overall story. So, I mean, it's just missing out on some of that story, which would kind of be nice if, you can speak the language, you understand what's going on.
Yeah, but if it's in another language, that let's just say you purchase DLC, right, in America, and I'm in Japan, and you sell me your console. The DLC is region locked, so I can't play it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in Japan, I speak Japanese. I wouldn't want to play your English language DLC anyway, right? That seems like less of an issue to me.
Unless I'm like an American serviceman, or whatever, stationed in Japan.
Yeah, there's always an exception to the rule,
Yeah.
right? But
I mean,
think
that's
most of the
probably
time it's
the-
not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, just getting us back onto Nintendo, I think Nintendo is just drastically behind the times on just most things. Like, have any of you actually tried to do anything online with Nintendo?
It sucks, dude. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just not
So
figuring
bad.
out that there's this thing
Right.
called Nintendo ID where you get one cohesive account that knows you own a Wii, that knows you own a 3DS, that knows you own
Yeah.
these games. That's totally new to them. They don't get it.
They don't.
And
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Murph.
I think it's mostly a cultural thing, just because, I mean, they are a Japanese company, and like Japan's weird. Like they have all this internet infrastructure, but like couch multiplayer rules the world there, and like people don't have smartphones there, but like handheld console, like the Vita is a big thing in Japan. Like here,
Internet cafes where they all go
Yeah.
play together.
I mean,
It's right. It's different for sure.
But can we really say that? Because, I mean, also Sony's based in Japan. I mean, their main base is in Japan, and although they have American branches.
Right, but I think most of their most of the development, I think, is Western. I think, like, notice, like, all of the Sony first parties are kind of American style games, if you will.
It seems to be that way, and even if it wasn't, they've proven that they just know how to cater to a Western market. They get it, I
Right.
put them in the same field as the Xbox and Microsoft in just understanding the market here. We're just now, maybe, I think, with Super Smash, going to get the ability to pre-download a game you pre-ordered on the Wii U.
Yeah.
And not only
Like,
that,
in
like, how long have
in-
we been
in
asking
December.
for online play for Smash?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
this
did they
is-
have it on the Wii? Did they have online play on the Wii?
Yeah, there was.
I don't know. I didn't have
There
it.
was.
Well, for Smash. I'm talking about specifically for Smash.
Yeah,
I can't
I don't think there
remember if there
was.
was.
I swear
I
there
kind of
was.
wonder I think there might have been on
Hold on.
Brawl.
Yeah, Murph looked that up, but I don't remember. Like, I don't remember playing it at your place, Curtis, and seeing
didn't-
online play.
Well, the issue was when you were playing at my place. I think we were in. Was I in my apartment by then, or was I in?
You were.
I think
you
I
were
was
still,
in a dorm.
You were still in your dorm.
And at the time, they had huge restrictions on what you could hook up to the internet.
I
And
just
one
don't
of the
remember
things
not
you
seeing an
couldn't.
option. That was mainly it.
It just
Yeah,
wasn't something they pushed in any of their games. The fact
No.
that they have it in Mario Kart was like astounded me that was even a thing.
well, and they've been getting better, progressively better, especially with the 3DS. Almost every single of their games are, multiplayer enabled, so on and so forth. The new Pokemon game is completely online enabled. You can battle, you can trade, you can do all that stuff. And, you can trade anywhere. So, I can trade with someone in Japan or in, anywhere in the world.
Right, but
Yeah.
those are all new games. Xbox and PlayStation have been doing that for 2 consoles now.
Yeah.
Nintendo's just getting on board that train. They're just
you-
figuring it out.
You can play online with Brawl.
Okay.
So it was
My
an
fault.
option at the time.
I'm an idiot.
No,
Yeah, But I mean,
go ahead.
It speaks to the fact that could we play online? Like, the fact that that's not a clear answer, kind of a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the same note, I feel like Nintendo, although they have the Wii U, I don't think that's what's making them money. I really think it's the 3DS that's making
It's the
money
handhelds.
these days.
They're very dominant in that handheld market.
They've always been dominant. They still are going to be dominant. They make sure there's always games out for the 3DS. It's I have a 2DS. I love it. It's one of my favorite systems I've had in the past couple of years.
Not only that, they're also like
actually
remaking a lot of games for that as well. Like
Yeah.
they redid
Zelda.
Ocarina of Time for it, and I think that sold a lot. And like you put out another Pokemon, that sold a lot. You put out Smash, which is probably one of their best-selling games out there, and you finally put it on 3DS.
Mario Kart was on 3DS. They had Fire Emblem that people have been waiting for years and years came out. I mean, they know how to corner the market, and I don't think PlayStation has a shot in hell of getting it back.
They have a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, I think, where they're going to talk about upcoming games for the Wii U specifically. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be shooting at us in 2015. But I think the point is they feel like they're behind in just getting online.
I mean, it's like let's look at online in general. Like the GameCube had they had the capabilities of being online, but they only had Phantasy Star Online and
that was so broken online. It was horrible.
It wasn't really a thing for sure.
But it was great.
Game.
It was great and couch co-op. Though.
Oh yes, it was.
4 players on a GameCube playing that on a couch was pretty awesome.
I wish that we can kind of get back to that.
Factor.
Like,
anyways,
they build their games around couch co-op.
Yes, they do.
That's what Nintendo does.
All right. So moving on, game time. Curtis, you have a game for us today.
Yes, I do. Today we are going to be playing famous gaming quotes. Well, gaming quotes, we'll just say, because some of these aren't as famous as some other ones. Essentially, what we are going to do is we are going to be playing this concurrently, which means everyone plays at the same time.
Thank you, because I forgot what that meant.
What we're going to be looking for is the person or the character that said the quote and the game that the quote was from. I will accept the series, but at a difference of points. So what we're going to do is 2 points if you get the person right, 2 points if you get the game right, only 1 point if you get the correct series of the game. For instance, let's say Super Mario series. You don't know which Mario it is from. And you get 1 additional point if you get the person and the game right.
All right.
So what will happen is I will read the quote, wait until I finish the quote. As soon as I finish the quote, you will say your own name, and the first person I hear I'll call them out. I'll say, okay, X person, and you'll get a shot at it. If they get any of them right, we're going to go on to the next quote. Okay?
All right.
All right. So, the first quote is, it's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum.
Chase.
Murph.
I heard Clegg first.
What?
That's
I heard Clegg first.
Duke Nukem.
Okay. That's the person.
Right? From a Duke Nukem game. Not
Okay.
Reloaded.
Yeah.
Not the new one.
It's Duke Nukem from Duke Nukem 3D. Okay.
Would have had that.
Clegg, you just got 3 points.
Okay. Are you keeping track of this, or do you need one of us?
I am keeping track of this.
You got it. Okay.
All right. Here is a lockpick. It might come in handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Chase?
Okay, Chase.
Skyrim?
No.
Murph. Garrett from Thief.
No.
Damn, that was going to be my guess,
That
too.
would have been a good one, too.
Anyone else want to guess? Would it help if I read it a different way, perhaps?
Can you do the voice?
I can. Here is a lockpick. It might come in handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
I think this is
No.
a dead one.
No.
Okay. It was Barry Burton from Resident Evil.
Oh.
All right then.
Okay.
Yes. I should have known.
Third one. Do a barrel roll.
Chase.
Murph.
That was
Damn it.
Chase. That was Chase.
Peppy, Star Fox 64.
Incorrect on the game. It was originally said in Star Fox.
Well,
It was
also
said in Star Fox
Star
64.
Fox 64.
Oh,
You didn't say
okay.
which game it was in
That's
first.
true. That's true. I'll give it to you. That's going to be 4 points. That's true. All right. Fourth one. You are not prepared.
Chase.
Clegg.
Clegg.
It was Illidan Stormrage from World of Warcraft: The Burning Crusade.
You are correct.
I'm getting gypped on these.
You're saying it's slower than him.
Bullcrap. Not when I edit it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. This is my grandson. He's been your rival since you were a baby.
Chase.
What's his name again?
Chase.
Murph.
Chase got it because he waited until the end of the quote.
Oh, we have to wait?
Yep.
Yeah.
Chase.
It is Professor Oak from Pokemon Blue/Red.
Wow, you even got the slash right. Good
Yep.
job. 4 points from that. All right. So the current score right now, Chase has 7. Clegg, you also have 7.
I would like to point out that it is odd that Professor Oak doesn't know the name of his own grandson.
Yeah.
Which is even funnier because you can call him something terrible like stupid or shithead.
He also doesn't know if you're a boy
whatever.
or a girl either.
Yes,
Yeah.
he does. He's a blind old man that gives out Pokemon like
Mhm.
Christmas. Okay. 6th quote. Oh, hi. So how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
Oh, dang it!
Clegg.
There's GLaDOS from Portal 2.
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh, I knew that one too. And it's like,
Thing
just
up.
say your name. Like Brandon was like,
One of
just
my
say your name.
gaming
Just say your
blind
name.
spots.
Why are you
Alright.
not saying your name?
All right. All your base are belong to us.
Chase.
Chase.
Oh my gosh, my mind just blanked.
Murph.
Ow!
Give it to Murph.
It's is it Zig is the guy?
No, Zig is not the guy.
Fuck.
But you can. Do you want to make a guess on the?
I can't remember the name of the game.
Okay, Murph and Chase are out.
I've heard this quote so many times.
I know.
I just don't
I
know
know
what it's
that's why I
from.
put it in here.
I would say it's from my text box in StarCraft. It was like a cheat code or something,
Nope.
but I don't know.
I
what
almost want to
For
say something.
great
It's like
justice.
Xena
Take off
War
every
or
Zig.
something.
Okay, the person that said it, I kid you not, was named Cats,
Oh, it is Cat. Oh, god damn it.
and the game was Zero Wing.
Zero Wing.
Hmm.
That was kind of
Okay.
close.
Okay.
I
All
said
right.
0, so I was kind of close.
You were close, but all right. Would you kindly,
Murph.
Murph?
BioShock.
Okay, you got the game right.
I don't.
There
Oh god,
are
no, hold on,
several-
wait.
There are several different people who said it. I was
Andrew Ryan.
That is correct.
Yes.
4 points.
Would you kindly? What was
Yes. If you don't know it, this is kind
I'm
of a
not going
spoiler.
to tell you. It is a spoiler.
that? Okay.
All right, I'm going to wait until Murph finishes drinking. Okay. But Stallion says hello.
Chase.
Murph.
Chase.
Oh, I know what
That would
is.
be Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2.
That is correct.
Butt Stallion.
Okay, let me just sidebar for a second. Isn't Handsome Jack probably like one of the best villains ever?
He is
yeah,
pretty funny.
pretty much.
Hilarious. All right. This one's a little bit difficult. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Oh.
Clegg?
Clegg.
Is it from Hitman?
No.
Oh, okay.
Say it again?
Say it
I'll
again.
say it again. Hold on. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in a world.
Chase?
Chase.
Is it from Splinter Cell?
No.
Murph.
Murph.
Is it Dragon Age?
No, it is not.
I know this won't count.
We're gonna hold on really quickly. I'll give one more hint, and if no one gets it, I'll just say it out loud. It's from the intro of the game. This game is awaiting a sequel that seems like it's taking forever.
Chase.
Chase.
Metal Gear Solid.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
It was G-Man from Half-Life 2.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so the current score is Clegg and Chase are tied at 11,
Oh.
and Murph is at 4.
I could have gotten that Pokemon one.
That's okay. That's okay. The last and final question is one that all of you should know. Show me your moves.
Chase.
Click.
Chase called it.
Captain Falcon from Super Smash Brothers.
That is correct. Chase wins the game.
Show me your moves.
Curtis, I like the game. I'm disappointed you didn't say one quote. Granted, I would have been the only one
Which
to get
one?
it. I want you to think on it for just a minute.
There was a bunch of ones that I put in there, but I didn't think it was fair. I had one from Prince of Persia that was, wait, that's not how it happened.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't think anyone would get that one. I also had Remember No Russian from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That was the other one I had, but I took that out.
I was kind of disappointed in that that wizard came from the moon.
Well,
You give up, Curtis?
that wizard came from the
No,
moon.
the one quote that I wanted you to put
No,
in.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I know. It's from Metal Arms.
Yes!
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, but I didn't put that in there for editing purposes.
Oh, yeah, because, everybody else
I
swearing
know.
is fine, but...
Yeah, I know. I dropped the F-bomb. Anyways.
Alright.
Anyway.
Alright, so... Lords of Fallen came out. Murph, I know that you were very dissatisfied, and I know...
I'm extremely dissatisfied.
Clegg, I know you've played it. I don't know your thoughts about it yet. Curtis, I know that you've played it as well. I am poor, so I did not play it. So, gentlemen, Lords of Fallen's been getting good reviews. Are they justified? We'll start off with Murph. Why do you hate it?
I've got so many reasons to not like this game, and I think this game would have gotten a few more points from me if it didn't try so hard to be Dark Souls, where, like, on the very much a surface level, this game has some very Dark Souls mechanics, but it fails to understand what makes Dark Souls so good, and the fact that it doesn't understand it makes it even worse.
Clegg, can you adjust your mic?
Sorry.
So
Too loud.
I'm hearing you breathe.
Oh, sorry.
So the one thing that I hate the most about this game is that the combat is clunky. It doesn't have a lot of like weight. If you know what like in Dark Souls, when you hit a guy with a two-handed sword, you get that feeling like you just hit someone with a 5-foot like rod of iron. Like it feels good. In this game, it just kind of feels like you kind of hit them with something. It doesn't really matter. Everything's slow. The dodge is so terrible as to be useless. And don't even get me started on the bosses. The bosses are by far the worst part.
All right. Clegg, Curtis, rebuttals.
See, for me, the combat is the one redeeming quality about this game. It's everything else around the combat that sucks.
Oh, God. Go ahead. Keep on going.
The combat is not good. It is not as good as Dark Souls, but it is the best thing about the game, in my opinion. I like the combo system. It's got more combos to it than Dark Souls weapons, which I like. And you can do some cool chaining of moves with timing, which is neat. I like the XP recovery system where you can leave your soul sitting there on the floor, and it buffs you if you choose not to pick it up. So if you encounter a really tough Black Knight or something that you just can't kill,
Well, why is
you
it gonna
die
be a Black
there.
Knight?
Well, because it's a fucking Black Knight, Chase. You just stay near your soul, and it will buff you to help you defeat whatever it is you're trying to kill. But if you choose to do that, your souls degrade in quality over time. So the longer you leave them there, the less payoff you get from picking them up. So there's a trade-off there. Do you need the help, and are you willing to sacrifice some XP for it? So that's cool. That's a nice little adds a little layer of complexity. But it's everything else. The magic system is bad. It revolves around creating these clones of yourself, which don't really work very well at all. And because the combat is so slow, you'll tell your clone, attack that dude. And in the 5 seconds it takes you to cast that spell and then have him charge at the guy, the enemy is already, on top of you or way the fuck over there, and your guy doesn't follow him. There's a lot of clunkiness to the magic spells. They just don't work the way they're supposed to. Curtis, what was your initial thought?
My initial thought is I actually did like the combo system as well. I thought that was something that Dark Souls could definitely do. Just give it gives a little extra visual flair. Where you're slashing up, you slash back down, and you kind of have this little bit of a kind of chain kind of thing going, which I like. The first thing that struck me is I just had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yes.
Like, it starts out and you have this hammer and you're in front of this thing, and then you're like, you're in this building. And I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, you're with this old dude. And I feel like I was supposed to know what was going on, but I was more like, who is this old dude? What am I doing here? Where's the hammer? What is going on?
You just said something very, very telling. You felt like you were supposed to know what was going on because the story is fairly overt, or at least it's supposed to be in Lords of the Fallen. In Dark Souls, you feel like you're not supposed to know what's going on, and that's part of the mysticism, right?
And that's what
you're supposed to really know.
And that's what I love about Dark Souls is because you wake up and you're a dead guy, okay? So you're not really supposed to understand what the heck is going on. In this game, I'm a live dude that has a background that I'm supposed to understand and everything like that, and I'm given no context onto what I'm doing at all. Right. And additionally, and actually Murph hit it on the head for me, I did find the combat clunky. I enjoyed the combos, but when I tried to roll, like, randomly it would just stop me from rolling too, where I would like roll kind of near where the guy was and it would just stop me. It would be like my character just headbutted him or something. And it's like, that's just not useful. That's not helpful for me. Just make me roll to the side or something. So it was more frustrating than anything else.
What were you going to say, Murph?
Like the biggest sin that this thing commits, it's the bosses. The bosses are just this huge sack of hit points. And on top of that, there's these like really kind of arbitrary, like just points where the bosses are just invincible and there's no like visual indicator. And you're just like, and since they're already like, they have all these hit points and I'm trying to whittle them down. So I'm trying to get all the hits that I can, but then like, oh, for some reason I can't deal any damage to you, even though there shouldn't be a reason why I shouldn't. And like, that's just incredibly frustrating to me.
Mm-hmm. In some of the gameplay videos I was watching before the game came out, the developer would actually talk about invincibility frames, where during this time period, you are invincible and you should use that to your advantage. That is really dumb. It takes you out of the immersion if you know you are invincible, which is not part of the lore of this thing. It's a gameplay element that you're taking advantage of, and they want you to do that. That seems really dumb. You didn't fix a problem, and you're calling it a gameplay feature.
I'm okay with invincibility frames in terms of when you roll, there are certain frames where you don't take damage. Dark Souls actually has that. But this is like the boss. The boss is casting this spell. He's pretty much exposed, but for some reason I'm not doing damage. Like I'm hitting him with this giant sword, but it's like, nope. Like it's just passing through him.
On Murph's point, I think players should have invincibility points, but enemies should not. Unless it's something like they're in the air, they're underground, they're encased in a rock, whatever.
Right. No, like if you give me a visual indicator, I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. But even then, don't use it excessively. And even if every time that the monster was like the second boss, the commander, I guess, right?
The second boss for me was the one in the graveyard.
Okay, well then the third boss.
Oh no, sorry, it was the one in the courtyard. He summoned
the courtyard.
Dudes.
Yeah, that
the
guy.
Giant shield. Yeah.
Yeah. Like how long did that fight take you?
That one I got on the first attempt, but it took me like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like that is that's not challenging. Fight. It's not hard. It's long and repetitive. This game seems to mistake, this takes a long time for mistaking like for hardness of game. And for people who fight Dark Souls bosses, they don't, a 5-minute Dark Souls fight is a long fight.
Right. You just need to execute it properly, and then it shouldn't take you more than a couple minutes.
Right.
The difference is difficulty versus length, right? And they're calling length difficulty. I see what you're saying. And this game is fun for me, at least. But like the only thing stopping me from playing it right now is I'm talking to you guys. But I know it's a bad game. It's fun, but the thing that bugs me the most is that it feels like they got the combat to a point where it could imitate Dark Souls, and then they didn't finish the rest of it because like the script is really not that good. when they do their dialogue, the animations and their gestures don't line up with what they're saying. So he'll talk about the staircase behind him, and he's pointing that way. There's just random things where, after coming off a game like Shadows of Mordor, where they did facial and motion capture during all their cutscenes, so it looks really good. You go to a game like this, they just didn't take the time to polish it. There's just a lot of things like that they didn't finish.
Yeah,
They did the bare minimum.
All right.
it's
Game rankings right now gave it 70 on the PS4, 73 on Xbox One, 69 on the PS whatever the one PC. That's one I forgot. IGN gave it a 7.4. GameSpot gave it an 8. What do you guys agree with that rating, or what would you? If not, what would you give it?
Definitely not the 8. Definitely
yeah, not 8.
No, not the 8.
I'd give it a 6.5, probably.
6.5.
Yeah.
Murph?
6.5
Yeah.
to 7 for me.
I
I'd
think
say. Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Murph. No, go ahead.
I would definitely say this is a 6, like a very just slightly better than average. Not, but I mean, not no. Actually, this is an entirely average game, and
Average.
there's no greater sin than mediocrity.
Well, it's not a bad game. But it's not a good game.
Yeah,
Right?
I would rank it in kind of the high 6s, to be completely honest, because it's not a functionally broken game. It's just not. How do I put it?
We'll notice things that could work better.
Yeah, I mean, things could work better, but it works. You know, in my opinion, like low 60s and into the 5s, although not, by any means good, means it's something functionally broken with it.
I am mad I paid full price.
Yes.
Let me put it that way.
Yes.
So what
I
you're
would agree
saying
with
is,
that.
like, if we were to come to consensus, wait for a sale. Like, if you were to pay maybe 25,
10,
would you be
10. I think
No.
10, $15 is what I would
What's
pay
the max
for
that you would pay?
Probably $10.
Like 5.
No, I'd pay $20 for this game.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, like, to be honest, this game feels like one of those an indie game that somebody said, well, I want to make a Dark Souls light, and they didn't really have enough kind of like budget or expertise to like actually pull off a Dark Souls, but they kind of want full bore at it, and it just doesn't work.
Right.
It's really, I'm sure that there was a lot of good ideas. It's just a lack of execution, and I've noticed a lot of like visual things, like some models not working entirely right.
Or clipping weird. Yeah, it's unfinished. It feels unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
Could have used another 6 months to polish.
To a year.
Speaking of games like this, where like you see a lot of like a high rating, but like you get dissatisfied. Besides this game, what is another game that you saw get really highly rated, but you're just like, ugh, no. I got you thinking.
No,
Yeah.
I can step in and I can say
Go ahead.
the perennial Destiny. Man, that game is bad, but
Destiny.
I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking I need to go raid that Vault of Glass.
A lot of people see that raid is broken, apparently.
I don't think it's bad. Like I've only gotten to the second boss, and it's fine. Like it's not anything. Like I mean, it's certainly flawed, but it's not terrible. Like the problem is they want me to play this game like every day, and I don't want to play it every day. I want to play it like once a week.
Yeah.
You want to play it every day.
I do. I really do.
You're not there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like,
not
I
the
need-
impression I get.
I need
Everyone
more
wants to really
content.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an answer, and it might cause me to rage a little bit, so I apologize ahead of time. Dragon Age 2 got rated highly, and it is not a good game. It is not. And for a lot of the same reasons we actually talked about with Lords of the Fallen, where the story is clunky. You know, the gameplay is completely functional. It's great. It works great. The characters are forgettable. Even to this day, I can't remember half of the people of the characters that I played with, except for Varric. And the end story feels like it's a midpoint. It feels like your big villain shows up 2 minutes before you kill him. And then it's like, oh, well, that's the game. And then it's like, cliffhanger, something else is happening. And you're like, oh, I don't really care anymore. So,
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
mine because I really like. I asked this question like, what is mine?
Yeah, what is it?
I thought of two. Like, a lot of people kept telling me that Gone Home was just like this amazing tale. Like, I thought the storytelling was like cool.
We're about to fight.
I thought it was just okay. It was just like,
No,
okay, I like how like the storytelling unravels, but I just felt like in the end it was just like, okay. And I think another one would be, and I may hate this just for a completely different reason, but I thought Gears of War was just okay. Like, Gears of War to me is like I only played the first one. I didn't play the second or the third. But when I played the first one, I thought the multiplayer was fun for a little bit. Like, I couldn't get addicted to this. And I think what pissed me off even more was the fact that because I'm such an Unreal Tournament fan, that they kept saying, like, when Unreal Tournament 3, or, like, when another, like, game came out by Epic, they kept saying, from the makers of Gears of War. It's like, no, they did Unreal Tournament, and Unreal Tournament is so much better.
Yeah, that's the one that should be remembering.
That's the
Well,
one that
then
should be remembered.
And then the designs bled into Unreal Tournament too, which was anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That actually shook a memory loose for me, in that I just kind of, when Halo was released, I was like, what's the big deal? I've been playing Quake for like years now, guys.
That's true.
Yeah. I feel like Quake's always been very underrated when it comes to a shooter because it's been surrounded by Doom, which I know that Doom and Quake and Doom are from the same company, but still, like, it still gets overshadowed by Doom. You had Turok come out, and people loved that, and then of course you had Unreal, and just nobody really talked about Quake a lot.
I think it was just because, and it's probably just a matter of timing. Like, Doom was low res enough, and people just finally had computers, so people would play Doom, and there was a bit of controversy around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then people kind of just fell off, and gaming wasn't really in the mainstream for a long time. And so kind of Quake kind of came out in that period, and then Halo was the kind of the reemergence of game, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
But people still play Quake today. I mean, QuakeCon is, still a huge gaming event.
I mean, Quake Live was just, well, I mean, that's Quake 3, but
yeah, but I mean,
Live was just re-released on Steam.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Well, I know Quake Live just got re-released. And I know,
now.
like, Quake has, like, a really good, solid following, but I just felt like it when we talk about shooters, it doesn't get mentioned. And I feel like it gets a little bit underrated.
Yeah, because I think Quake, after the second one, kind of just abandoned the single player, like, entirely.
Because Quake 3 Arena.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think there's nothing after Quake 3, even though there is a new Doom apparently
there's a
coming
Quake
out.
4, I think.
Is Quake? Was it Quake 4?
Yeah, there is a Quake
There's a Quake 4. It was
Just
once again quiet.
Nobody loved it. I think
Yeah.
it was like a Battlefield kind of game, wasn't it? They kind of changed the whole formula.
No, it had a Quake 2 like storyline, I think.
Oh, okay.
Now that I'm remembering, yeah. See, yeah, nobody cared.
Yeah.
Kind of flopped.
All right, let's do.
Which is unfortunate because Quake I love. I mean, Quake gave rise to Team Fortress 2. It gave rise to. Well, no, that was Half-Life. I was about to say Counter-Strike, but
That was
still.
kind of more Counter-Strike that kind of gave rise. Well,
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I played the original Team Fortress in Quake.
oh, was it Quake?
Yeah,
That's right,
It was
a
originally a Quake
mod.
mod. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Final topic. Curtis, you had an intro for this topic.
Yeah, so there's an interesting article talking about how people can buy like Far Cry 2 for something like $2. You can buy it for just stupid cheap. And it kind of made me think a little bit about games that either have been forgotten because they just, weren't that popular, or, that critics either A, hated them and the public hated them, or likewise. So I just thought it would be cool to talk a little bit about games that we remember that maybe have been forgotten, kind of like Quake. Or, just didn't sell well, so we're never going to see another one, and it's kind of a shame.
One of mine is, this is one of my favorite games ever too, and it was a game that I got literally for $3 at GameStop, and it was 13, the cell shaded shooter, which like they made.
Starring Dave Duchovny.
Yeah, sorry, David Duchovny. It was a great game. Like, you get to attack the KKK. I mean, what other game do you do that? But you had Adam West as well, David Duchovny. You had like a whole bunch of great voice talent. They tried to make an American series here. It didn't work well, but they're on, I think, their second series now in Canada with Aisha Tyler and Stuart Townsend. Random plug. And it's based off of like the graphic novel, which the graphic novel, like I read the first one, is amazing. The game leaves you on such a like great cliffhanger, and I thought it was so well done. And I love like the uniqueness of it, and just like no one played it, and so it was like my gaming hipster moment where it's like, hey, you've never heard of this game, but this is one of my favorite games ever.
And I remember watching you play it. For the time, it was quite innovative. Like you could shoot glass out,
Yeah,
and then you could pick up the glass and throw it at people.
yeah, and you could pick up
It
shards.
had a lot of those. Yeah,
Like,
it had a lot of those really cool moments.
I can think of a few, like Cold Winter was another one where you could like make your own Molotov cocktails and explosives and your own med packs. And it was very unique, and no one played that. Project Snowblind, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. It's a random one, but it was still fun nonetheless. I know that Curtis, you and I have played a whole bunch of them. Oh, Galactic Wrestling featuring Ultimate Muscle.
I think that was a dish one. Because I think those games are still being made as well. We just don't see them in America.
It was fun to play.
It was a lot of fun to play.
What about you guys?
Hold on.
Netalogs glitch in the system.
Oh, I have a good one that I just came up with a little while ago. Crimson Skies.
Oh yeah.
So
That was a good one.
it was this steampunk plane game, and it was on the original Xbox, and it was right before Halo 2 came out, and it was just the most fun multiplayer game I think I've ever played. You could fly in between buildings, have dog fights. They had a capture the flag, and it was just awesome. And unfortunately, the studio that made it decided they're the people that also made Mech Assault games for the Xbox. They decided to make a terrible game called Shadowrun, the first-person shooter, which caused them to go under. Luckily, the guy who has the rights to make the game just finished Shadowrun Returns, and he's been talking about how he wants to come back to Crimson Skies. So here's hoping for another Crimson Skies game.
I've remembered mine actually.
Shoot.
Let's see. This is going to be probably me, old man Murph moment. But did any of you guys play SimEarth?
Yes, I did.
No, I didn't.
SimEarth for Super Nintendo. So for those of you unfamiliar, if you remember SimCity, that popular gaming franchise, Maxis also had a game called. Well, there was lots of other sim games, but like SimAnt, SimLife. But SimEarth is you kind of like took a planet from like the meteors crashing into it to like suddenly oceans forming, and then life evolves, and then life becomes intelligent and civilized, and then leaves the planet.
Oh, so you're talking about SimEarth. I thought you said SimMurph, where it's like, we get to live in a day of life of Murph.
No. This is SimEarth.
I hate popular games!
Oh, no. Come on.
Destiny sucks! Alright,
Destiny's
continue.
great, but it's also terrible. But SimEarth, it's like little like third grade Murph would sit there and like put on the cheat codes and make dinosaurs turn into like the most intelligent race on the planet. And like it's just I guess SimCity took off, but I can't why would you run a city when you could run a whole planet, and that planet could be populated with like
intelligent
dinosaurs that have a nuclear war? Like this is the choice is obvious. SimEarth.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon I wanted to watch.
Oh,
SimEarth or SimMurph?
No,
Yeah.
there was that one with the dinosaurs where they were all like jacked up. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, God, with on
What
Eat
was
the
that?
Cat.
Yeah.
Oh, Terrible Thunder Lizards.
Yeah.
Terrible Thunder
Lizards.
Lizards.
Sorry.
Because I had started watching Eek the Cat on YouTube, and so it's amazing still.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's SimEarth kind of is also like this really weirdly formative game for me, because it kind of, how people say, oh, this thing really inspired you into science. Like, kind of that's the game that did it for me. So
I've got two, but I want to hear Clegg's.
Well, for me, it's kind of a formative game as well. The first game I can ever remember playing back when, little 5-year-old Clegg, it was Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. So it's not really a game so much as a franchise. The Sonic
Yeah.
franchise used to be, AAA titles, back in the day, I suppose. He was an iconic character. He's really
He's a joke.
fallen out of style in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's because
Right?
they put out so much
Sonic
garbage.
06.
There's a lot of really bad games, which is really unfortunate because, back in the day, the Sonic gameplay was really innovative and they did some great things that you hadn't seen before. But now, I feel like they just haven't done anything new with that platform that's really gotten people's attention. And I wish they would do something because I remember just loving that character.
Yeah.
And I can't remember playing a good Sonic game in the last 10 years.
Curtis.
Do we need to check you for a DeviantArt account? Because I've seen some of the Sonic fan. Oh, have you not?
I just remember playing
there-
Sonic
there is
Adventure 2 with Curtis, and just that ending.
That was a lot of fun.
That ending.
Sonic Adventure 2 was a lot of fun.
Oh man, I love the Sonic Adventures, and I really wish that they did. Like, I keep getting hopeful for new Sonic. What was it? Sonic Lost World. Oh, cool! I'm excited, and it just bombs. I'm like, piss.
Well, it's for every one of those, they have Shadow the Hedgehog, and he's got this giant bazooka on the screen.
Like a sword or something, yeah.
I mean, really, if they want to put out a good Sonic game, put out a 2D platformer.
Yeah,
Sonic
Just do
episode.
it.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episode.
yeah, that was 2D.
Yeah, it was 2D.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
there you go.
So my final two grants, I realize I've named off a lot. By the way, the game that everybody likes that I hate, StarCraft. But I'll end on that.
What?
I hate
He doesn't like
I
StarCraft.
hate StarCraft.
Oh, okay. I thought the game that you like and no one
The
else
game that
does.
I like that no one else
StarCraft.
did, no one else really knew about, no one really played, and it's partially the reason why I hate episodic gaming. One of them was Sin Episodes Emergence, and what sucks is the first Sin came out and it was fun, but it came out around the time of Half-Life, and Half-Life blew everybody's mind, so everybody's talking about Half-Life. Sin Episodes Emergence came out around the same time as Half-Life 2. And I think it's just as good as Half-Life 2. However, everybody keeps talking about visually.
Murph is
He is
raging.
So, whatever. I liked it. And the final one, which makes me really hate episodic gaming, and I'll tell you about the ending of it because I'm sure you guys never played it and probably will never play it, is PsyOps, the MindGate Conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And I loved it. They built it up to be, I think they want to make it a trilogy. But that ending, though, pissed me off to no end, which, if you've never... I'm assuming you guys are never going to play it ever, because it came out for PlayStation 2.
It's almost impossible to get your hands on these days.
Keep on going.
Okay, so here's the ending. You get this epic boss fight. You just, it's actually, a really relatively good boss fight. Not one of those cheesy, easy final bosses where you're just really, that's how you're gonna end it? And so, you go through all this, and then all of a sudden, helicopter comes down, and you and your partner are just running away, and all of a sudden you go, alright, we can't run away, I got this. And this goes, to be continued.
Oh,
And they end it like that, and I'm really just
so
walk out.
So I've got good news actually.
I'm listening.
PsyOps, you can actually get that for free right now.
PS Club?
No. It's let me see here. Somebody, I think CNET. I'm reading it as I try and talk. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so I think they just kind of released it at some point as a free something or promotion. So yeah, you can just get it for free on your PC.
Oh, you can play it. I ruined the ending for it, but you can play it.
No.
Oh, okay, yeah, here it is. So you can get it, but there's in-game advertising.
Oh, that's fine. It's whatever.
So yeah, if you just Google PsyOps MindGate Conspiracy free, you'll get a link.
All right,
Wow,
cool.
right.
So it's definitely a game that I would check out. Maybe, who knows? This could bring in a lot of publicity and so forth. Maybe they might make a second one.
I have one that a lot of people hated, and I think you actually played it, Chase.
Amplitude.
Alan Wake.
I never played
Oh,
Alan Wake.
yeah.
I was close.
Alan Alan Wake is such a phenomenal game, and they marketed it wrong. They did so many things wrong with that game, like just showing off that game. It is so good.
Yeah.
It is. Go ahead, Murph.
No, I was going to say, like, I've only played the first episode for a failed podcast I did, and I only got through the first episode, but I totally intended to come back to the next episodes, and I forgot.
So good. And they leave it on such an awful cliffhanger. For people that like Twin Peaks, there are characters from Twin Peaks that literally show up in this game. I remember two specifically: the log lady, and then there's this waitress that show up. But oh my god, just such a good game. You can get it for like probably $5.
I know Steam usually has it on sale a lot.
Yeah, they have it on sale all the time. You can get it for dirt cheap. It's a great kind of horror action game. It's just a good game all around.
Awesome. Anybody else? Any other games?
You had me until you said horror.
It's more like intense. It's not like horror.
It's not like Dead Space horror. I never played it,
not
but I've heard it's a lot like.
It's not gruesome. It's very unnerving.
Like Amnesia? Or like a lesser degree?
A little bit more than Amnesia, because Amnesia, you can't see it. You kind of see what's going on. You kind of figure out what's going on. But there's a lot of times where you literally are like, I can't really... Basically, you have to use a flashlight to get the shadow off people so you can kill them. And every once in a while, you'll be at the point where you have, like, no batteries for your flashlight. And so you're basically trying to be like, oh god, I have to get the shadow off this guy, and your hands are shaking, so you're like, and finally you get it and you kill him, and you're like, oh my god, so good. Anyways.
Alright. Any others? Murph? Plague?
No, I think I got mine. I mean, I got a billion indie games.
Yeah.
Which are obviously better than all of your AAA abominations.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking. I'm trying to think of like all mine. Like, but there's like, I literally could like go through my entire like collection and just think, you know what? A lot of people don't play these games. Like Enslaved. Oh yeah. I feel bad because that game just had to come out around Skyrim time.
Metal Arc.
Kingdoms of Amalur is a fine if you just want to just turn your brain off and shoot or hit something with a sword.
I think it had some really solid ideas, but I mean, not story-wise. Story-wise, it was crap.
Yeah,
but like gameplay, it was just fantastic. But it just, you know,
that and Just Cause 2.
Oh, that's
why do you have a grappling hook? Just cause. Why do you have an airplane? Just cause. Just cause too.
You can hook the grappling hook to that boat, and then they hit each other.
Does Kingdoms of Amalur have spiders in it?
Just what? Does what?
Kingdoms of Amalur have spiders in it?
Yes.
I'm not playing it.
The fantasy game.
You probably like Just Cause though.
Yeah,
Just Cause 2.
I have it like when PlayStation 3 did that whole like Plus deal where they just gave away like a whole bunch of games. Like I have it downloaded, it's just I don't play it.
You should get it for PC because they have a multiplayer mod that hundreds of people play on the same island. It's crazy.
Nice.
Just Cause is again one of those games where the story is absolute shit, but the it's just if you just want to wander around and blow stuff up, there's hardly a better game for it.
Yeah.
And the entire Lost Island is in Just Cause 2. If you fly off the beaten path, you can actually get to that island. There's a polar bear on there.
Polar bear and everything.
Wow.
Nice.
For a second, I thought you were, but I was thinking The Lost World. I thought it was Jurassic Park.
No, not Jurassic Park.
That's terrifying.
That would be even better.
That would be. All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me as always, and thank you guys very much for listening. If you're listening on YouTube, leave a like and a comment, subscribe, ask us a question. We'll maybe respond to it in the next podcast. Also, question for you. What is a game that you like that everybody else around you seem to hate? You can also follow me on Twitter, @ChaseBunker. Make sure you also watch that news show and that sports show whenever I feel like it's not crap again. So, for Curtis, Murph, and Clegg, I am Chase Bunker. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Maybe. One of you's gonna die.
Fired.